So, welcome to part 2 of the video blog. Let's see how it works. I hope you're actually watching it successfully, because it will be not a waste of time like the other ones, because I spent a lot of time doing it on a rush morning and whatnot. So, on my train ride to Sweden, there were these Swedish ladies, and they weren't very friendly or whatever. They were just talking to each other the whole time. The landscape was very nice, so you got to see some of the ocean, not a ton of it on the way. Like Gothenberg is on the coast, so I expected us to follow up the coast the way, but we didn't. It is something where I was happy to get in there. Much chillier. Before I had left, like in between the time we came back from Salzburg on Sunday morning, we got back to leaving. It was very muggy and definitely the last gas of summer here in Mannheim. And went up there, and it was very chilly, averages around 12 degrees Celsius, which is about 54, 55, 56 degrees and whatnot, and all wearing scarves and everything already. They very into that. They're very fashionable people. The Swedes are especially, the women are all tall, lanky, a lot of blondes, better looking people than Central Europeans and Americans as a whole. It was definitely interesting seeing the discrepancies between the different cultures and their looks and whatnot. In such how they're Swedes and Danes are really close to Germans in Central Europe. It's not far at all. So definitely interesting seeing that fact. But I got to Sweden, to Gothenburg. And I went to the hostel. I got a little lost. I rode the tram illegally for a little bit, but then I got off and some girl helped me bypass. They all speak very fluent English there compared to here in Germany. So that was nice. I went to a grocery store, found the youth hostel, and I had a little bit of bite to eat, and got to bed. The next morning I woke up, checked out the hostel, went back to the supermarket. I was right on the way back to the tram, and got something to eat and drink and whatnot, and prepare myself. And it was nice. I walked around. I got to the aquarium, the waterfront area where the opera is. The aquarium is also there. They also have a large building there, but it was closed. Afterwards, they have a huge mall that sits in the middle of the city called Nordstrand, and they have a tourist office there, I guess you can say, where tourists go to find out stuff. And I went there. They suggested different places. I went through their old town. Well, first I went through where the city wall was. It's right in the ocean, so they need defense and something like that. Then I walked. I didn't walk all the way, but I walked most of the time to a church, their main cathedral, which is Protestant, so it wasn't nice or anything like that. They don't do that in Protestant churches. After that, I went to the fish market, which was fish markets. I'm not a big seafood eater and not a big fan of smells and whatnot, but it's the way of life up there. They have in the supermarket, you can buy shrimp. It's like a little ice cream. That's what I describe it. I think of like ice cream. Like you go to a pool and they have the ice cream thing, and you open the container, the freezer. That's the word. And you just take a bag, like you take fruits and vegetables from the supermarket, but it's shrimp, and you just scoop out a bunch and you weigh it and you pay based on your weight. It's just like free, no prepackaged shrimp. It was definitely weird. After I went through the fish market, I went to the old town where a lot of the houses are made of wood, and it sits on a hill, around the side of a hill, up this huge hill called up to the fortress where the city was founded and defended upon, and overlooked the entire city. Very nice. You could see out to the ocean and whatnot, and it's a beautiful city and town, and I definitely go back. I was suggested to go to Stockholm and up to even further north to a city called Ulia. More on that later on the train back with Northern Lights. But after the fortress, I went back down, got something. I had some lunch. I walked through their main street, walked around the main part of town a lot. It was pretty nice seeing everything. There wasn't a lot of museums or attractions to go to. They have an amusement park, but there's a bigger one in Copenhagen that's more famous. And after that, I went to the train station to study a little bit, and my train back to Copenhagen was going to leave at like 15:40 to 3:40. And I've got on the train, and I was sitting next to this nice man who he was Swedish. He spoke English very well. He actually had lived he taught at first semester at RPI, some sort of computer science, computer engineering He was telling me about how he lived like outside of Troy and Albany, and how he traveled around the U.S. and loved it and whatnot. And we got into a conversation after they actually took euros. They actually use Swedish kroners in Sweden and Danish kroners in Denmark. It's Dänemark in German. It's about 5 Danish kroners to 1 American dollar. So, and about 6.5 Swedish kroners to 1 American dollar. So it's better in Sweden. It was much cheaper there. It was very expensive in Copenhagen. It was nice though. He had a 50 euro bill, so I broke it with some 10s and 20s, something along those lines. And we talked for 3 hours until he got into his parents' city. He lived up actually north, like Ulia, where I was saying, but still in the EU. I looked it up. I really don't know much about it. Just telling about how during the winter, the Northern Lights, it's just phenomenal and everything like that. And I definitely want to go back to Scandinavia, see the North. I really, that's something I definitely want to do and see and whatnot. I don't think it'll happen this trip, but he invited me back. He gave me back his tag. He had flown into Gothenberg, and he's flying me back to Ulia from Malmö, which is across the Baltic Sea from Copenhagen. So his parents live all the way in the south. He lives all the way in the north of Sweden, and he said there's only 2 of people with his last name, including him, in the city, so he'd take me skiing if I was there. Great guy, talked about everything and anything, and it's great. So I got back from into Copenhagen, and I went to the hostel looking. It was already 8 o'clock or so. I was exhausted. It had been a long day. I woke up. I walked everywhere like I do, and I travel a lot. And so I gotten some stuff at the supermarket in Sweden. I still had some stuff, and then I literally just crashed into bed, took a shower. No, I didn't take. I took a shower the next morning. So I just got into bed and seriously crashed and was asleep by 10:30 or so, and woke up, had a nice long morning, got to sleep until 10, so I got to catch up on some sleep, I guess, after not having much sleep on the train ride up to Copenhagen that overnight. So the next day I woke up and I went down to the supermarket, because getting food is very expensive if you go to restaurants all the time and whatnot. So going to supermarkets is always a plus. No matter where you're traveling to, always find a supermarket. It will always be so much cheaper in terms of everything. Food, drinks, water, everything is so much cheaper in a supermarket. Excuse me. I'll be right back. I'm getting a call on Skype.